Hello guys, welcome back. I hope you were able to play around the example that I left with you. We want to continue with string slicing. Now, string indexing and slicing are some very important concepts that if you are able to grab, it will help you a lot because you are not going to use indexing and slicing only in strings. You will apply it in other concepts too, especially in data science. Now, string indexing allows us to access individual characters in a string, but slicing allows us to subscript a group of characters. So, where indexing can allow us to only access I or A or M, slicing can allow us to subscript everything here, or this one alone, or I am, or even learning alone, or Python, or learning Python. So you look at how we do that. With slicing, we have a general rule as the starting point, and then column, stop, pinpoint, and then lastly the step. Now the step, if you don't specify it, Python automatically considers it as step 1. So it moves on from one character to another. But if you specify more than one, then probably if you use 2, then it means going to jump over one character to the next. What we should know is that everything in the string has an index. Alright, so all these spaces are part of the string. So if you even try to access the second character in this string, it will be an empty space. All right, let's take a look at that since we are familiar with indexing now. So var of the second character will be what? 1, because we said the first character has an index of 0. So if you print this, we are getting invalid syntax because of what I brought here. Let me comment it out, and then let's print this. We are getting an empty space. That is this space. So everything in the string has an index. Don't think that it's only the characters or the words that has an index. So if you try to, let's say, start with the first index and then don't specify everything, the stop or the step. Let's see what we will get. You will get everything, the whole string. So you have to take care of this. Whenever that you start with the index of 0, it applies to what? The first character in the string. And then the stop, you are not specifying anything. So it means it should go through to the end. That is what this means. All right. And if we also don't specify the start index, then it means, and let's say, what is the end of this string? We don't know, right? Let's try to print or get the length of this string so that we will know the stopping index of this variable. So if you use the length function to get the length of var and we print it, we are getting 20. So everything here is 20. So we bring 20 here and we print this, we are also getting I'm learning Python. What you should know is that the stopping criteria is always -1. All right. So Python actually doesn't reach the 20th index because this one, if you try to access the 20th index, you get an error because there is no 20th index. Since the length is 20, it means the index will end at 19 because we start from 0. But always the stop is -1. So if you want to slice up to a particular point, you have to make sure, or a particular index, you have to make sure you increase the index of that particular character by 1. Otherwise, it will slice the character before it and not actually what you want. So that is why this is valid. And by the way, if you remember, during the indexing, when you try to access something that wasn't in the range, right? This one, Python threw us an error. But for slicing, if you try to slice up to something that is out of range, Python will slice it up to the end. Okay, it doesn't care. So this one, if you change it to, let's say, 22, we're expecting this to also run because it's getting to the end. If we change this to 50, we don't care. Python will still run it up to the end. You won't get any error. So if we try to start at, let's say, 0 and then end at, let's say, 6, let's see what you get. You are getting I am, then it takes the L part from the learning. All right, so you can increase this to let's say up to 10, and let's see what you get. You can play around it and say I am learn. It's good. We will learn string methods very soon, whereby you can get the index of a specific word in a string that you want. All right, so that you can index it or slice it. You will get there very soon. Let's also see what this does for us. Let's specify the step. All right, so if you say print var, then we leave everything here. So we are not specifying the start, we are not specifying the end. So that means it's going to start from 0 through to the end. And now we are saying the step size should be 2, not 1 anymore. If you don't specify the step, it automatically runs it as 1. So that is why this one is printing everything. So if we print this, let's see what we are getting. So what this means is that it started from the I, then it jump off, since it's saying you should step over 2, you jump off the space and move on to A, then you jump off M and then move on to this space. So that is why we are having this space here. Then you jump on L and then move to E, jump over A, right? And then move to R, jump over N, move to, and so on to the end. So that is what this index or slicing mean. We can also do something like this. Print, then var of, you also don't specify, then you say -1. If you print this, you are reversing the string. All right, so this one starts from the back, N, O, H. So that is what this means. You want to reverse a string. That is how we do it. We can also make a copy of, by the way, this reverse, we have a method that we will learn very soon that we can use to actually reverse a string. This is the way through slicing. So if we also want to make a copy of this variable, we can do that through slicing. Although there is a method, when you read string methods, you look at that. You can say va equals, then we want to make a copy of the variable that we have already, that is var, and then we bring the semicolon. So if we don't do anything like this and then we try to print var or va, this we are expecting a copy of the variable var. All right, so this makes a copy of the original variable. I am learning Python. There are a lot of ways that we can slice strings. We can't cover everything, so take all our time. So you can explore, Google around and see the various ways that we can slice strings in Python. All right, you use them when you need them in our code as we advance to the complex topics. So let's use the string slicing to solve the problem that we had with this variable word. All right, we wanted to print hello, but we made a mistake and printed jello. So let's see how we can do that. Let's copy that variable and then let's paste it here. So we have made a mistake here. All right, we want to use string slicing and then change this J to H. If you remember string concatenation that we just learned in some previous videos, we can use that to say, because we want the first character here to change to H, you can say H here plus. So what do you think we should slide in order to get only the E, L, L, O, so that when you add it to the H, it becomes hello. The index of the E will start from 1 because J is the first character and the index of it is 0. So if you say 1, then this means it will slice or run to the end. So if you print word now, it becomes hello. It's as simple as that. String slicing and indexing are very, very powerful concepts that we'll be using through our code, especially when we are dealing with lists, a whole lot of data types, and in more advanced concepts. So I hope you play around it and learn more other ways that we can slice and index strings. Bye bye for now. See you in the next video where we talk about string methods.